Welcome to today's psychology class. In the last lesson, we focused on the major theoretical approaches in counseling, and we had four of those theories. Number one was psychodynamic theory, which was we gave an example of Sigmund Freud, who was one of the proprietors of this theory. Number two was behavioral theory, and we looked at some two examples here. That is a theory by Ivan Pavlov and another theory by P.F. Skinner. Then we also had cognitive theory, and we gave an example of that theory by Jean Biget. So today I want us to look at the humanistic theory. Now this humanistic theory, it is a theory that emphasizes on looking at the whole individual, and it stresses concepts like free will, self-efficacy, and self-actualization. It does not concentrate on dysfunction, but strives to help people fulfill their potential and maximize their well-being. And one of these famous theory is that theory that was advanced by a gentleman known as Abraham Maslow. So this lesson we want to look at that theory by Abraham Maslow. And this Maslow's theory is actually known as the hierarchy of needs theory, and was proposed by Abraham Maslow in 1943 in a paper that was titled A Theory of Human Motivation. Abraham Maslow subsequently extended the idea to include his observation of humans' innate curiosity. His theories parallel many other theories of human development psychology, all of which focus on describing the stages of growth in humans. Maslow studied what he called exemplary people such as Albert Einstein, Jane Addams, Eleanor Roosevelt, Frederick Douglass, and he did not actually focus on those people who are mentally ill. He focused on those people who had actually succeeded in life. So Maslow studied the healthiest 1% of the college student population. Maslow theory was fully expressed in his 1954 book Motivation and Personality. He approached the study of personality by focusing on subjective experiences, free will, and the innate drive towards self-actualization. His theory states that people achieve their full potential by moving from basic needs to self-actualization. He also explained human needs change throughout an individual's lifespan, and these needs influence development of personality. This is going to get more clearer, especially when we move to that section that focuses on the diagram. This is where you will get a clear understanding on what we mean when we say hierarchy of needs. Basically, one need, according to Abraham Maslow, one need should be fulfilled before that person moves to get that urge to achieve the next need, as you will see in the diagram that we are going to show. Now, the hierarchy of needs theory, here he proposes that human beings have certain needs in common, and that these needs must be met in a certain order. These needs range from the most basic psychological needs for survival to higher self-actualization needs. This hierarchy is visually represented by a pyramid with the largest and most fundamental physiological needs at the bottom and the smallest, most advanced self-actualization needs at the top. Each layer of the pyramid must be fulfilled before moving up the pyramid to higher needs. This process continues throughout an individual's lifespan. And this is that is the self-actualization or the hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. And as you can see here at the bottom of this pyramid, we have the physiological needs, things like breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, and excretion. Some of you are asking yourself why we are having sex at this level. Note the reason why we are having it here is that we require sex for the continuing of the human species. It is one of the requirements. If if this process of having sex stops, it means we are not giving birth, and if we don't give birth, it means the human generation becomes extinct. And that is why we are putting it here, or Abraham Maslow decided to have it here in that context, that it is essential for the continuity of the human race. So here we have those psychological needs, as we have mentioned. That is the most basic needs. Now, according to Abraham Maslow, once those ones are met, once someone has food, they have water, they are living comfortably, they are breathing well, and everything is well, they now start thinking of adding the next layer, that is security. That is safety. And here is things that we have, things like security of the body, employment, resources, morality, the family, health, and property. Now, after meeting these basic needs, the list increases. People start valuing employment, they start valuing security, they start valuing resources, morality, the family, health, property, and so on. Once that one is met, according to Abraham Maslow, the next stage comes in. This is where love and belonging is more important than anything else. That is where you have things like friendship, family, sexual intimacy, and so on. After that is met, we go to the next level, which is esteem. Here we have things like self-esteem. Things like self-esteem start becoming important. Things like confidence, things like achievement, respect for others, and also respect by others. So this is where esteem is more important than anything else. Then the last stage, according to Abraham Maslow, is self-actualization. This is now where the person has reached their maximum. Things like morality start becoming important, creativity, things like problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. So that is the theory of hierarchy of needs as advanced by Maslow. So Maslow believed that successful fulfillment of each layer of need is important in the development of an individual's personality. He said that individuals who finally achieve self-actualization represent optimal psychological health and functioning. There is a question there. According to this theory, what is responsible for human behavior? That is something I leave you to think about in detail, and also go back and look at the other theories that we did not have much time to look at. That is the behavioral theory by Ivan Pavlov and P.F. Skinner, and the cognitive theory by Jean Piaget. You can also go further during your own time and in your own ways to find more information about this very interesting theory, the humanistic theory, and specifically the hierarchy of needs, which was advanced by Abraham Maslow. It is a very interesting theory, and you will get more information. The information we have presented here is just a summarized version of the same, but you can go further and go into the internet and find more about these the Abraham Maslow theory of hierarchy of needs. There are those who criticize it, they have their points. There are those who applaud it, they have their points. So even yourself, you can have your opinion whether you agree with Abraham Maslow or you disagree with him, and that can only happen when you have more information about this theory. Whatever we have given here is just a quarter about a quarter of what or what is actually presented in this theory. We have given you the very basic about Abraham Maslow's theory. So that makes the end of this lesson. There is something which I required you to do in the last lesson. Unfortunately, I did not send that assignment. It was about drugs and substance abuse, where I portrayed a diagram and asked you some questions. So I'm going to resend that diagram again after these lessons with the set of the questions that I asked you to look at. So it is not an assignment to be submitted. So for this class, go further and look at these theories, and specifically at Abraham Maslow's theory. So I'm going to send that assignment for the sake of those who did not manage to get that particular or get that diagram that I was describing in the last lesson. So thank you, and have a good day. We shall meet in the next lesson. Thank you.